right, so I guess we'll wait to wait till some people come in.
What's up? What?
Just say hello.
Keep the chat going.
Hello.
I was getting the chat going. Hello, everyone. Or two of us.
Now we're gonna get into it soon as some more people come in, okay?
Two people in, 2 thumbs up. Like that. Thank you. Thumbs up. Appreciate it.
Hey Diane Wynn. Thank you for sharing. 3-road like mercy. What is 3-road like? You know what I mean? What do that mean, Mercy? Hey, Cynthia Murray.
So, as people come in, this is a somewhat an add-on from yesterday's live where we talked about the tariffs, but this one goes in a different direction. Today, I wanted to talk to y'all about the new POTUS and the majority body in the Senate and the House have had many discussions about how they should tackle immigration. Now, if you paid attention to the news cycle or to certain news channels,
oh no, you can go ahead. You're saying the third. Like, thank you, Mercy. We got it now.
The news channel, I would say it got stronger September, October, and November, and it was a big discussion when it came to how immigration was going to be handled under this new administration. Now, the new Congress has been sworn in, and one thing I found interesting was the House Speaker did mention that he was going to leave this portion of the incoming POTUS agenda up to him. So now, what is mass deportation? It's basically what it says. There's like no confusion in it. It's one of them things where you take it as its word, and that's one of the ways they're looking at tackling the immigration issue the U.S. is facing right now. But there's this funny thing of there's a smoke screen to it, because along with immigration being one of the big topics, there was also the lowering of the inflation, the lowering of grocery prices. And I mean, like yesterday I said, I'm pretty good with math. And if you take workers away from a certain field, that field is going to take a hit. And one of the ways it takes a hit is financially. It takes losses. So if this, which is crazy because 90%, just about 90% of the farmers in the U.S. are owned by individuals. It's not corporate run. So these are your everyday people. These are people that you pass when you go in grocery stores, and they just happen to run a farm. If you take away their workers, who's going to do that work? Who's going to plant that seed? Who's going to run the machine for those that have machines they use to plant seeds in great abundance? Who's going to run those? Who's going to run the process? And that's where there was a lot of gaslighting going on. It was a lot of, I like to call it comfort words. They were saying comforting words to some people and saying things that was going over their head all at the same time. Like, you can't tell me that you're going to take away a good chunk of the workers and in turn lower prices for groceries, but some of those groceries is coming from that exact farm that you just took away a lot of them workers. So is the harvest still going to be the same without the same amount of workers? Probably not.
Divine order.
Yeah, I was reading that last part.
Said people in the hood are working those occupations.
And yeah, but I'll tell you, go ahead.
No, I was going to say not many of them.
Yeah, not many of them. Because there's a lot of people that do a lot of charts on different things, different fields. And there was an article, if I can find it real quick, that broke down the amount of workers that were legal immigrants, undocumented immigrants, and then the rest was like American laborers that were in the farming industry. And you'd be alarmed, or you'd be interested to know that it's not what you think. Now the article basically disappeared. I have it on the computer. But the gist of it is, they want it to happen immediately. But the problem is Congress is having an issue on deciding how they want to take up certain agendas of the new POTUS. Do they want it in one big bill? Do they want it separated in 3 different bills? Or do they want 2 bills, adding 2 things in one another? That's a whole nother story. But this mass deportation is not going to come cheap. It is not an action that's going to come without a price tag. That's going to be footed by taxpayers.
You see, divine order. I agree. Not many of our people do laborers work like others. Crime has more than quadrupled in Chicago in the past 4 years since the of illegal.
You'd have to break down the divine order, what the illegal economic immigrants is, because let's be real, most of that population, and I'm speaking illegal immigrants, a good majority of them are over here for legitimate reasons. They're not over here to commit crimes and do all the trash that some of these politicians have labeled on them. But there are some that are here because And I say it this way: where they were, they couldn't do the stuff they're coming here to do, because things are handled different ways in their country. So here they see a freedom or a opportunity to cause some ruckus. But for the most part, some immigrants are just here to make money so they can send back home, and they're trying to get away from crime or whatever else is going on in their home country. But for those that support mass deportation and getting rid of all the immigrants in the U.S., this is what's going to come with it. This is what this video is for. It's to let you know what's going to come with it.
I'm gonna say something on this. Yes, immigrants may be doing some of the crime and stuff, but we have watched several times, several protests, several things that has happened over the couple years. They even had the live protests right on YouTube. I have watched them for different situations, and most of the people that I saw doing crime, vandalizing stuff, and all that was Americans. So it's not just the illegal immigrants that's doing it. It's Americans. They're killing their own every day. Americans is robbing their own every day, killing their own. And I can say that because I can talk for back home, Jackson, Mississippi. It's declared a third world country. Just Jackson. And you know who's doing most of the crime? Americans, not immigrants. So it goes both ways. I'm not saying none of them are not doing things, but it's not just them. I mean, before this thing got real bad with immigrants coming over here, it was so much going on. And like I say, look up Jackson, Mississippi. I'm talking about where the area that I know of. And it's not immigrant. It's not that was going. There was stuff going on down there. They was setting people on fire on the side of the road and stuff. And it wasn't no immigrants that was doing it. It was straight Americans and doing it to their own. So I think that's just the that's just what other people want to say and put it out there, and everybody just follow with it. They don't go and look it up and stuff like that. They just follow it. So it pretty much like what one person say, then everybody just gonna run with it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
And to touch on that, the divine order, if it's that bad in Chicago, then the ones that are that'll be an example of the ones that need to be deported. We're talking about them going about it in a nonsensical way. They're basically saying they don't care. They want all immigrants out, illegal. So to the point where, I mean, this border Caesar, however they done named him and gave him this position. At one point, he was saying everyone has to go. He don't care. And then, the media jumped on it. They took some heat for it, and they used a softer tone. So now it's we're going to take the illegals, and if they stay in a home with someone that's legal, then they're going to give them the option. The legal one can stay while they're still going to take the illegal, or the legal one can go back with the illegal one. Basically, that's their way to combat people saying, well, you're going to tear families apart. So now they're going to say, well, we're going to give the option up to the individual or individuals in the home that are legals. But farm work farming isn't the only industry that has illegal immigrants that shape up a lot of it. You have construction. Like, think about it. What was it? It was a couple of years ago. Does anybody remember what happened in Florida when the governor signed into law the new whatever law it was that he was trying to tackle illegal immigration in Florida? Do you remember seeing pictures of construction sites empty? Do you remember reading articles from the farm owners saying they lost a lot of crop because they didn't have anybody to come and harvest because the Mexicans was and again it was probably more than Mexicans as far as the illegal immigrants that was working for them, but the mass majority of them was from Mexico. They stayed home. They didn't show up to work. And that's just a small snippet from what's to come. If you just look at how that played out in Florida, them construction owners, they lost money. They lost a lot of money. You ain't got workers there. That means you're delaying the completion of this product. And then on top of that, there's fees that come with those delays. So if you take that and you make it on a wide scale, it's going to be something that we have to look at. Less farm workers is going to equal less produce. Less produce is going to equal higher produce prices.
Okay, so I'm a start up here. I'm gonna start right here and then work my way down with Benjamin. Um, well, Benjamin, you speak about what they're doing to women and stuff. I'm not doubting that, but at the same time, it's more Americans doing that same thing to women here, and they don't care about life. You got to look at too. I want to say this so bad. When you talk about attacks, you know how many people have been caught wanting to do certain type of attacks that was straight Americans. They wasn't foreign, they wasn't immigrants, they was Americans. I mean, shoot, if you actually look back in the past couple months and know exactly the ethic what oh of them, you will know it's um look, I'm trying to say this in a nice way without it. I don't want it to come off in a bad way. But all that still is what I have read in the articles, what people have said in the articles. And it's just not completely true. And as for Jackson, Mississippi, like I'm from Crystal Springs, Mississippi, but I moved to Jackson. And that even my hometown of Crystal Springs, Mississippi, I'm only about skipping a hot 10 minutes from South Jackson. With my driving, I'm 10 minutes from South Jackson. Even in my little town, it's so bad there now. And it's Americans, it's not immigrants. It's Americans that are committing a lot of the crime and stuff. So my only thing is to label other human beings to be the main source of doing all these things when people right around you that's actually citizens here is doing the same thing, is doing or some even worse, is doing the same exact thing. So I still feel like it's people that has this mindset to just say I don't want them over here, this that. But this is the funny thing, it's okay if they legal, right? It's okay if they legal. So the problem is the ones that's illegal. So why not try to help them? I mean, send them back or whatnot, or try to help them that don't have like criminal record, background or whatnot. Why not try to help them to be legals instead of, evidently most of them that's running, they running for a better life, than where they are coming from. That's one of the main things, is they running for a better life. If you was from where some of them are from, when you try to get to a better life for you and your family, that's the way they are thinking. But the way it's put in the news and stuff, and then to bash them for something that's going on with in every race, every country, and all, I don't think that's right at all. That's just, again, one person let this stuff come out their mouth about they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing this. And to be honest, a lot of your food in the grocery store was picked by illegal immigrants. A lot of your food in the grocery store was probably prepared in some type of way by them, because the American people don't want to work. The American people are lazy and always got something handed to them. They don't half of them don't know how to do a skill or nothing else. Half of them ain't gonna go out there and pick potatoes in the hot sun. They're not gonna do it and get them ready for them to be shipped to the stores. So you know what's gonna end up happening? They're gonna send those back, and Americans ain't gonna want to do it, but they already working on something that's gonna do it for them. And it's gonna make it worse if you don't have none. All them jobs gonna get replaced with robots. Simple as that. So some people say, "Oh, they're taking our jobs," and you weren't doing the job in the first place. You didn't want to do it. I ain't going out there in no sun picking no potatoes and this, that, and the other. You didn't want to do it in the first place. A lot of these buildings, these homes and stuff that you're going, you normally see immigrants up there doing it. Those are the ones you normally see doing it. So, I mean, and to be honest, they will work for less. 9 times out of 10, they will work for less, because a lot of them is a little bit more grateful to make anything than some of the Americans that want to cry about, I'm not going to work for this amount, whatnot. But they'll take it. But that's all right though. If they go back and stuff, you gonna pay either do two things. You're gonna pay more for your stuff because they gonna have nothing but robots out there doing it, and the cost to probably keep them up or whatnot is gonna make your prices go up even more. I mean,
that heat.
Go
Cook them robots.
Go cook them. And then when it start raining and stuff, they ain't gonna be able to have them things out there in the rain and stuff to work. They ain't gonna be on no roof. So you gotta look at all that. Next time you go to the store and you buying your potatoes and your produce and stuff, just think, who could have possibly, put them there. No, Americans are not, man, whatever divine order. I'm going to say it like it is. A lot of Americans are lazy. That's why a lot of them sit up on what is it? We were just talking about it yesterday. On food stamps and stuff that don't need it. Yes, they are. A lot of Americans, I ain't saying all, but a lot of Americans are lazy. Yes, they are. The truth is what it is. They are. They do not want to learn nothing. They do not want to, So, I mean, Divine Order and Benjamin, you are welcome to have your opinions, but we're going to have ours.
At the end of the day, I mean, Divine Order and Benjamin, y'all have points based on whatever you've seen or you've come across.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And this is why we're trying to get you to come across this. However way you look at it, the end of the day, if you take immigrants, and we're going to say illegals, we're going to focus on illegals, out of the farm business, let's say farm and construction. If there at some point was a
Divine Order, I got people that's in Chicago. I got family members that's in Chicago. Chicago been having crime for decades. High crime for decades. Now the past 4 years and this, that, and the other. I mean,
I guess that was Biden fault.
You keep saying the past 4 years. I mean, crime has been everywhere. And I know a little bit about Chicago. Like I say, I got family in Chicago that moved from Mississippi, and they are in Chicago. And it's just the crime has been bad there for decades and decades. I mean, so all the crime that's been going on in the last 4 years, I'm guessing that's it's due to illegals. I mean, you see what Danny said. You hit the nail on the head.
It's about, and I'm about to touch on that a little bit deeper, but and it kind of falls into line with where she is right here.
Linda, beautiful garden.
Danny and
Benjamin.
Linda, beautiful garden.
Oh, Danny.
This was kind of my response to y'all, because I mean, you can't tell people that don't want to hear what you say and anything other than what they believe. You said it in your comment, Linda, that you had a friend that worked construction. They laid him off and they gave it to a migrant for less money. Here's the thing. The migrants coming in, the ones that's coming in with good intentions, that just want to be able to help take care of their family, they're not going to go to the boss and cry about a raise. They're not going to go to the boss and try to get a union started. They're going to go to work and do what's asked of them. They're going to work long hours, a lot of it in the sun. And in turn, we as Americans are going to reap the benefits of their labor, because we're going to get the produce on the shelves. And when we're not having other things that affect your crops come up, when they having a good yield season, you're going to see good prices. But again, there are other things that can affect the price as far as the weather and things of that nature. But it's just business. If I'm an owner, I can save money by hiring immigrants, illegals. They're not gonna complain. They're not gonna cause a fuss. Most of them ain't getting no health insurance, so that's more money in the owner's pocket, because that's something that they don't have to contract and cover. It's about increasing their bottom line. But these are things that happen behind the table, that under the table, that a lot of people don't see, and they don't care to see, because it's easier to place the blame on what you see or what's perceived to be in front of you. So the end of the day, math, to get your mathing, is simple. Less farm workers is going to equal less produce. Less produce going to equal higher prices. And it's just that simple. So if you take that and you move it into the construction world, let's be real. Day to day, as you drive around and you go through these towns, for those of you that have a decent commute to wherever you're going on a daily basis, are you living in a neighborhood that's expanding? Are you went through a storm that's come through and now there's a rebuilding process going on? Who do you see working on the roofs? Who do you see building, patching up roofs, putting on new roofs? I know what I see, but I'll let y'all determine that, because your community may be different. It may be made up different, and the companies may have different employee setup. But I know what I see. And
Oh, that. Oh, okay. That kind of. Okay.
I know what I see. So I'm gonna tell you,
I'm from Mississippi, born and raised, so I understand clearly now, Benjamin. I understand clearly.
we have to open our minds to see and understand past what's being showed to us. So if some people think mass deportation is the way to go, then I mean that's your right. But if some people see that's a problem and something that big that is going to be handled the way they claiming is going to be handled, it is only going to cause issues.
Let me get this real quick. 312 chick. I wasn't saying I need y'all to pay attention the words that be coming out because a lot of time it be perceived in a different way. I'm not saying all Americans fall on the poor low income food stamps recipients. I'm not saying all lazy Americans fall under that. I'm not saying that. But the majority of them, I ain't gonna say maybe not the majority, but there is so many that lay up, able body, don't try to do anything to help themselves. Many of them pop out kids left and right, and then they go get assistance. Who do you think is paying for all that? Because see, a lot of the low incomes that should be given to elderly people, disabled people, people that really need it. There are so many people that you can see that goes out, they club hop, they do this, and it's every race. They do this, that, and the other. Then they go with a poor face up to the welfare office and they pay $10 a month in rent and they get food stamps and they pop out babies. Who do you think the government is just giving food stamps out and stuff without getting their money back in some type of way? Do you think they are paying for people lights and stuff that can't pay them because they're not trying to? Let me tell you something. It's no excuse to not be trying to do nothing. It's you on a platform right now where people is working. If they don't want to go out there and work, they don't even try to do anything to bring income in. So yes, that is a lazy American. And you got so many of them here that's just like that. So no, not all of them fall under the low income. And you know why? Some of them don't fall under it because they out there doing more illegal things like selling drugs. They make their money that way. They putting drugs on the street, harming kids and other people that's taking that mess. They do not care, making money. Who is doing that? Who is the number one people you see out there with fentanyl and all this other stuff and people ODing and stuff? That's a lazy American. He do not want to go and work. He rather slang drugs and get a quick buck. So, and he don't fall on the food stamps recipient, probably not even low income, but did he get it honestly? But then you take someone that's out there building homes on the farms and stuff, getting paid way less, and you want to send them back. But so if you look at it, Americans is a lot of Americans are lazy. And the same ones that people support the with the deportation and stuff, they know it too. They know it because they see and know how many is on low, and they know. Okay, it's a lot of people watch social media. Then you know a lot of big people watch. They see people out here partying hard and all on social media going, I'm gonna spend my food stamps, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Ain't got a job to start with, ain't trying to get now. So really, you can't, I'm not saying all of them, but there's a yeah, I don't know what's striking people nerves when I say lazy Americans. The truth is what it is. It's a lot of people here that are, and it's because everything has been handed to them. You go to these other countries and stuff, they can run circles around Americans with the skills they know. because it wasn't handed to them. They can live on the land. They can do it. You can go and get so many and line them up of Americans, and they can't even tell you how to start a seed when it's simple as putting it in some dirt. And the kicker is they're not even teaching their offspring. So it's just the cycle just keep going. Other places, kids 5, 6 years old can go and set a whole garden up by themselves. Our mentalities are different over here because everything has been handed to them. So when those illegals come, some of them come for bad, a lot of them come for good. I don't know if is our currency higher than theirs. A lot of them send money back to their families, so they can take a low amount here and it be way more in their country. So that may be another reason why they working hard, taking the low wages, just so they can send it back. And it mean it is when it's changed out into their currency, it's way more. So people need to look at the whole big picture before just reading the article and going off what other people have said and not even paying attention to, and as for violence, violence has been crazy. I'm gonna use but way before the last 4 years, since people in here want to talk about the last 4 years. Okay, so I mean that's just how I feel about it. American people are mad that, and Linda, I wonder why that is. Now the same why is that organization that's they ain't going there taking it. I wonder how they getting more food stamps than the American people. It's got to be approved for them to get it. Who giving it to them? Exactly. So that's not their fault that they getting approved for more money and stuff. So you got to look at, why is that so?
That's why you can't.
So the same ones that's putting it out there about them is the same one giving them more. What you reading?
This one right here.
Huh?
This person is basically
that what? Getting his.
I'm just looking at all of it. What this person is saying. But divine order. I've watched and read everything you have typed, and I'm just curious on what part of you missed from what we were talking about. I get what you're talking about, but I'm so if you sum up everything that you've said, you're okay with the mass deportation of immigrants. Got it. So who do you want to go work on the farms? I mean, I'm just curious to know. I mean, I get you. You're okay with the mass deportation. You said we gotta take care of home first before any company. So you and Benjamin going to work on the farms? Or you have people in line that you would suggest putting on the farms? Because the farmers, if you talk to the farm owners, they kind of happy with. I mean, I understand why they're happy with the workers they have. But if you take them away, then who do you suggest going to work on these farms so that these farmers don't lose crop and their harvest can actually make it to the market? So you've argued on why you believe they should be shipped away. So now let us know, who do you see should be on at the farm doing this harvesting at the level that they're doing it.
And while they wait on that, I must, somebody said we need to take care of home first before we have company. So I'm guessing you said we need to take care of our country first before. Well, it's been going off the last 4 years. Okay, the last 4 years of what I've been seeing the comments. So my thing is, beef. Who messed it up in the beginning? Who messed it? Who messed it up in the beginning?
I can see where that's going. It's a Biden Harris problem. That's what it seems like. But when I look at it, I go further back because I mean it spans more than one president. But I mean, maybe I'm being arrogant and understanding that most things occur over time.
I don't get it. They just keep saying the same thing that Americans is doing to people too. If you look at the news, it's more Americans that's vandalizing and robbing their own than immigrants are. I mean, am I not seeing what I'm seeing in the news? So this is the question I got. Okay, you take all the immigrants away, and the crime and stuff still going on. The same thing, stuff still going on. Who gonna be to blame then?
Democrat.
Who gonna be to blame then? Cause this stuff been going on way before, I mean, who gonna be to blame then?
At the end of the day, everyone is allowed their opinion, and in the chat, it seems at least two individuals are in line with what the government is planning. So cool. I want to talk to y'all about, did you know Chipotle had robots?
But it don't surprise me. Other places is still getting them.
Look, y'all. Well, they're not getting rid of all their robots because they realized there's some things they need to look into or work on before they do that. But
hold on, let me say something before you explain the robots, because they read all these articles and stuff about what's going on. They ain't seen the other man that's directly in the spotlight now, who loves to make things, do things on his own without humans. Do you not see what everything is what everything is is coming up to
I mean,
you can see with the robots. He probably made those.
I can't control those. How people gonna receive the information or who they researching. But
thank you, Ralph.
Chipotle says they've tested a couple of robots. One was called Chippy. Chippy was a robot that cooked and seasoned tortilla chips. Chipotle scrapped this project because it was too difficult to clean. They couldn't clean the robot. Imagine that.
That's gonna be good though. That's gonna change though, cause SoundCloud got the robots up in there scanning and stuff, so they gonna make one that's gonna clean for them.
I mean,
he gonna be waterproof.
When the robot had been like the grill, the more he touched it, his hand just would have been seasoned.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Chippy.
They didn't have avocado.
Okay.
That one peeled, cored, and cut avocados. They piloted that program in California in 2022, but canceled it because it was too difficult to clean. Wow. Couldn't clean that one either. Couldn't get the guac from in between the... Imagine that. And then they had an automated assembly line that builds salad and bowls.
Benjamin, homegrown crime. homegrown crime with planned chaos on top. Crime is crime, right?
Okay, I mean,
Last I checked, crime is crime. Humans are humans. I'm going to tell you this. What's today? January 9th, 2025. Let them do the deportation. And just like so many things that was said, a couple of months ago that was going to happen, that has now been reversed. And so many people believed it, and now some people are mad that they believed it. Just went right over their head. Let them do it, okay? Get all the illegals out of here, and then we gonna see what shape we be in then. And just remember, January 9th, 2025. Okay, this is what you was arguing. This is what you was coming up with or whatnot. Because just like everything, let me tell you. I'm gonna ask this question. Okay, are we gonna be great again? Just give me I want them to answer that. Are we gonna be great again? Linda, asking you. Benjamin, divine order. I just want to know that. I just want that answer. Are we gonna be great again? Do you believe we're gonna be great again?
I haven't.
Go ahead.
Lydia, I haven't heard anything about the skyscraper jail, and to be honest with you, I'm not going to have a feeling about it because I don't plan to go to it.
Oh, but that's a good thing, though. I think it would be ran by robots.
Probably so. But I mean, and I hope you don't take my response in a nasty way. It's just, and I have family that works in New York City correction.
No. Go ahead.
So, it's, and this is dealing with the aftermath of this last incident with the unfortunate, definitely illegal treatment of that one prisoner. For me, all those COs need to be treated with the same disregard or regard. But as far as any feeling about building a skyscraper jail, I don't have one because I mean, yeah, they're not gonna fix Rikers Island. Rikers Island it's overpopulated, and it is what it is. It's one of those jails where it is what it is. It was never really planned for long stay, but I mean, New York City criminals don't. They've grown accustomed to it and they like it there, so that's why they go back so much. But I did want to touch on this for y'all that don't really understand.
Let me say something because you finna read this.
Oh, I'm just gonna do it.
Okay, let me tell Benjamin something. Benjamin, I'm glad you answered that question just like that. You said, Mississippi girl, the only way we're gonna be great again is Almighty God, Almighty Jesus Christ. Well, all these people saying make America great again, they putting it all on their cars and all that type of stuff, and doing things that really is not. I would say I don't think God is happy about it. Okay, knowing who God is Himself, I don't think God is happy about it. But it's so easy to follow suit with other people and what they say, and then come back and say the only way we'll be great again is Almighty Jesus Christ. Then why are we trying to get people, human beings, that not all of them is bad? Why are we trying to get that? Why wouldn't we just, why people is not saying exactly what you just said? Why if you know that, then why is it okay for man to try to do pretty much God's work, I guess you could say? And I say that for this reason. Man, these people is trying to do things that God already said is gonna happen. You don't know which way God gonna let it happen. You don't know how he's gonna set. No, none of us know how he's gonna set up for his will to be done. But yet man has already went above and beyond, trying to pretty much make themselves better than God. You said the only way we're going to be great again is the Almighty Jesus Christ. Then what's wrong with immigrants being over here that's doing work that Americans won't do? See, in the Bible, 2 Timothy 3:1-5, which is one of my favorite verses, my favorite scriptures, it talks about in the last days how people are going to be. And this is exactly what we are experiencing right now. You're right. America ain't gonna be, man can't make nowhere here great in this, that if God have things that, if God had already told you things is going to happen in the last day, these things are going to happen. There's going to be sicknesses. There are going to be diseases that comes from way back in the biblical days resurfacing. We have been seeing that. There is nothing man can actually do when it comes to what God has already said is going to be done. But yet, all these people in these big places is trying their best. When an article go up or you see a person out there on a podium giving a speech and saying this, that, and the other, people, and I'm not saying you, I'm just saying that people don't tend to use their common sense and go the godly way and look at people as being human beings. They tend to flock in whichever way the wind blow, whichever way they want, whoever side they want to be on. They tend to flock that way, whether they are right or wrong. Okay? So when you look at the robots, I mean, most of y'all done heard about test tube babies. They trying to grow babies in labs. How can you agree with people that is literally slowly taking everything that humans will do and replacing it with metal? Because that's pretty much what the robot is. So many things they have done and tried out has been to keep humans away. So you worried about immigrants taking your jobs. What are you going to say when robots take your jobs? What are you going to say about that? What's going to be the next excuse? Stephanie, I didn't say all Americans was lazy, but the majority, I guess I'm striking a nerve with the Americans are lazy. I'm just, not all Americans are lazy. I said that several times, but a lot of them is. Now we're going from, they're taking out higher paying jobs. Well, I'm going to be honest with you now. I'm going to be honest with you. Let's just say this. Whose fault is that though? Because the company is who hiring them. Yes. So it's not their fault that they getting hired for. You know what it is? They are more skilled for the job. And this goes back to a lot of Americans ain't skilled for certain things because they didn't take the time out to learn the skill. So the highest paying jobs is going to the most skilled one, the one that's going to take the less, and you can't fault them for that. They not going saying you better hire me. Why don't you talk to the one that hired them?
Well, on that note, I mean, it's something that I would say most people should pay attention to. Just that specific statement. They're getting the higher paying jobs. I hope you know and the people that may see this video know, the current administration has done just about the best they can to try to get Americans some of these jobs. But the incoming administration and the people that
Yes, Satika, 3-1-5. I love that. That's my
shouldn't be able to make these decisions are making these decisions. I hope you understand that their goal is to get it so that the U.S. brings in more outside talent for these top paying jobs. As one individual, and I'm not going to say it verbatim, but it basically comes down to him saying that they were more qualified and they had better skills to perform in whatever field it is they're trying to bring them into. But their goal is to bring outsiders in to take some of these high paying jobs, technology and other fields like that. Now, that's not me just saying it. That's what the new administration and the advisors that's going to be giving ear to the new POTUS is saying.
Let me say this. Marcus Ferris, I'm gonna give you a fair warning now, because I know who you are. Well, I don't know who you portraying to be, but I remember your name. I remember a lot of names, especially ones I done had issues with. We're talking about a serious topic here. I'm telling you now, don't come in with the yin yang. Do not come in with that. Or I haven't never blocked you, but I will today, because we are on a serious topic. All right. Marcus Ferris, you know that I know some of your comments over the past couple of months. Okay. So we're not even gonna go there. Not today.
So y'all know it was a study done back in 2017 across the food supply chain, and they came back with these numbers. And I'm not going to say all the numbers, but high crop farm workers, documented foreign-born workers, came up to be 25% of the workforce. Undocumented immigrant workers was 45%. U.S.-born workers was 28%. Go to food production, and the number favors U.S.-born workers, where they're at 70%, and undocumented immigrant workers was 15%, and documented foreign-born workers was 15%. High crop farm workers, 45% is a big number. But let's say the 2017 numbers is the 2025 numbers. Let's say it didn't go up, because most likely it went up. But let's say it didn't go up. If you took immediately 45% of the workers that are dealing with crops out of the equation right now, what happens to really? Sorry, what happens to that business? So I just find it weird that, and I don't care because the way some people try to word certain things in the comments was they try to like portray one side over the other, and one side is let people come in. Ain't no side let nobody come in. I've been to California. I've been to the border. I've been along the border. It's so many ways to get into the border.
Marcus, and I do not care what type of respectful Christian you is. I don't trust all Christians. Don't come in with no mess, okay?
And the wife watches a individual that goes and shows how people are crossing the border. If you think you can stop 100% of the immigration into the U.S., I'm sorry, I just don't see it. If you see it, that's okay. You're allowed that right. I'm telling you, I don't see it. It's too big of a land to cover. And when one particular group or party was trying to get more resources, there was another party that didn't want that to happen. Now, all of a sudden, that's supposed to be part of the major push in this first legislation. So, one person was okay with how Chicago is ending up right now because it benefited that individual. One person was okay because, and I'm gonna be real, I'm almost certain Mar-a-Lago is host to some of these ones we talking about. But that's my opinion. Um, at the end of the day, this live was geared around. We want you to think outside of what most of these mainstream medias is telling you. The bottom line is when it comes to mass deportation, and it's not just the farm work, we're just using farming as an example. Less farm workers equals less produce. Less produce equals higher produce prices. Just how it goes. The farmer, the boss man gonna try to recoup as much money as he can, especially if he's losing crop because he ain't got the workers. So whatever crops he's able to, whatever harvest he's able or she's able to get, she's going to try or he's going to try to get as much money from it because in certain places they can't farm year round. They have a season. And once that season is over, that's it. They're working on the next one. So they need that money because for them, that's how they live. That's how they maintain their machinery, their assembly line, all that good things, how they pay their employees, legal and illegal.
And I'm going to play off in that a little bit. So you see the title is Who Can You Turn To? There's a reason why that title is that. With everything that's going on, that's done happened in 2025, okay? You got to look at, there's even talk that the fires that's going on, I don't know how true it is, but the fires that's going on in California right now. And I mean, if you actually look at it, how they popped up here, there. I be watching some of the some of the live streams of the fire here on YouTube. In the comments, I'm one of them that, I done talked to y'all for years about discernment, for one. My granny always told me, you discern. And also, sometimes I have some slow moments, but when I see some or hear some, I'm normally right on it, okay? And it could be trolls, and it could not be. These days and time, with as much as been going on since 2025, and we only 9 days in. So I'm in the live screen on a couple channels that's running the fire live, or like I said, here on YouTube. And there's chats. Well, in the chats, there's people saying different states is next. Some people are saying them fires were started by someone else. Now mind you, we had all the drones and stuff flying and all the everything. Fires popping up here, there, and I mean wiping out. Look what part of California is done wiped out and still wiping out. What, the Hollywood area? Millions and $1,000,000 homes. I was watching one live stream, and they when some got ready to be like talked about serious, they cut it and put the weather guy up, because certain things they do not want you to know, to see. You'll never know deep into what's actually going on around you because they're not going to tell you. It's fear of panic and all this. Now I will say this: I have enjoyed this live screen, and this is the way it should be. Everybody are different. I've talked to y'all about that so many times. Everybody is different. Everybody gonna have their different opinions. Divine Order and Benjamin. I don't even know if Benjamin's still in here. You had your you had your opinions. We have ours. It's fine, but we was able to talk about it, and it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way it should be. As adults, we all talk about it. Yeah, I may agree with you, I may not agree with you. You may agree with me, I may not agree with me. But at the same time, we was able to sit through this live screen and give our differences as adults. But at the same time, what a lot of people don't understand, despite all this stuff that's going on, it affects all of us. Even with the deportation, you send those immigrants back, and the ones that's hard working and doing certain jobs that Americans won't do, it's still going to affect us all. It's going to affect us when it comes to our produce, parts, and everything. Think about it. You do got Americans that do it, but here, I don't know about where y'all at, the tire shops. It's a lot of immigrants that can put a tire on real quick. They're at the tire shops everywhere. So it's going to affect us. Everything that's going on is going to affect all of us, not one race, not one group of people, no matter if you're on the red side, blue side, or whatever. It's going to affect all of us. And when it comes down to it, who can you run? Who can you run to? I think the most important thing with everything going on is being more skillful. Do you not know how many evil, low down, dirty people is here? People that you'll never think will be dirty towards you is here, right under your nose. I have experienced it. People that you may have trusted turn and become very dirty towards you. I have experienced it. When I say become more skillful, this thing wind down to where you got to know how to grow your own food. You do not want to have to go ask, because people gonna really show you. This ties back to 2 Timothy 3:1-5. How people are going to be. You can take out your Bible and read that. That is one of my favorite scriptures. Always have stuck with me since I was little. My granny always quoted that scripture. And it's true. Take out your Bible and read that scripture, and it will tell you how people will be. You do not want to have to depend on too many people. These jobs and stuff, produce and stuff could go very scarce. People that you would never think which will turn on you. They're turning on you now. It's so much wickedness. So many cold-hearted people not even paying attention. We can focus on the political side of it and all this stuff in the news. That could be a distraction to keep you from learning a skill you may need, growing food, putting back essential items and all that. And then it's just going to be like, boom, a big change, robots everywhere, taking this, taking that, doing this, doing that. Oh, we're going to have this law, this. It could be a distraction. And at the same time, it's going to affect all of us. So who can we turn to? God, the first person. Oh, God, the first person. But after that, it ain't gonna be too many you can trust when their stomach is licking their back, trying to get any juices from that spine. They will take yours. People that you have known for years, people you do not know, more than immigrants and stuff. People right under you, your neighbors. that's where it all boils down to at the end of the day. Because so much has already happened, and it's 9 days into 2025. 9 days. And you done had a tax and everything. So, really, with all the new stuff that's coming out and being done, I feel like that is also a distraction in some type of way. You had something?
No, I was reading the comments.
I gotta see something real quick.
For me, I just find it I just, and I'm gonna say this for the 78 people that's in here, whoever may watch it, I want you to think about this. Were you sold an idea that would never work when it comes to helping your pockets? It's weird because when you have to say certain things and then you look at how things have played out and how the media has shown certain things.
Did you see that? Is he talking to you? You escape with your family to flee war, but you leave them behind to go to
talking
war.
to me. I don't know what that is.
That Benjamin. Okay. I didn't know if he was.
Maybe he talking about the how they coming over. That to me, somebody I think had agreed with him. I think that one may be following that statement, but I just want y'all to understand. Some things won't happen overnight. It was a big thing about, we're going to bring down inflation, we're going to lower the grocery prices and all this other stuff. But what most people failed to do is, while these people were saying all of this, is listen to the other things that these people were saying. Because the exact other things these people were saying was the exact reasons why lower prices is not in the immediate future. But what I can tell you in the immediate future is more money in big business, corporate, billionaires, and multi-millionaires' pockets. These tax cuts, it's going to happen because Congress has to appease a certain individual. They're going to happen. And these tax cuts are not going to benefit the everyday American. They're not going to benefit. If you make $300,000 a year and below, don't plan on it helping you, because you're not who it's targeted for.
I'm trying to understand this one. Try to get a group and let them go. I don't know what they're saying.
He talking to
Marcus.
So I just need y'all to pay attention. Don't focus solely on POTUS. Pay attention to what's going on in the House of Representatives. Pay attention to what's going on in the Senate, because what's going on in those three places will affect your pocket within the next 90 days. It's just what it is.
Divine order. I get what she's saying. I wouldn't say she's panicking. But again, in the last days, the Bible do speak about people. It's going to be a famine and stuff. You know, the accounts were 7 years of famine. And it came, and God had told, was it Joseph? I don't want to say the wrong thing. Was it Joseph? I got to go and find that account. I did a video a couple years ago on that, where we read the whole thing out of the Bible, but about gathering food and stuff. He saw the vision, gathering food, and Joseph, gathering food and stuff for the 7 years of famine. Now, I get what she's saying, and it goes where I say faith without work is dead. God is not going to come and tap you on your shoulder and say, prepare. We see these things is going on. If you are, I'm not going to say a Christian, because I'm a work in progress. Like I've been telling y'all for years, I've been trying to get close to God even more. I've been saying that for years. Okay. Y'all have been following me. You know that. But I'm a work in progress, like many of us are. I'm not gonna label myself as a Christian. I'm a imperfect human being, okay? Put on this world full of sin and wickedness, okay? But um um God is not gonna come down and tap you and say, Oronde, I need you to start stocking up. I need you to start. He's already put in the Bible. You done read the accounts about the famine. Like I said, the scripture that I gave y'all, and there's different accounts in there that speaks about the last days and things that will be happening. That being said, we'll never be fully prepared. But I get what Stephanie said about a lot of people are going to starve. A lot of people are going, and let me tell you, all this stuff that we are stocking up on and stuff, God's will is going to what God wants, what He says is going to happen, it's going to happen. It may get to the point. I don't want to go deep into it, but we call it the Great Tribulation. I don't know what other religions call it. Around, I don't know what do you don't heard Great Tribulation? Is it the same term in your religion? Pretty much. So when that happens, some of this stuff we open, we may go get a can of corn or something off the shelf, and you open it up and it's full of worms or something. We'll never be fully prepared, but until whenever that time may be, we have to prepare. So her saying that, we're going to starve, I think she's meaning that like in Jerry, eventually we probably will, where the only thing that's going to sustain us will be being fed spiritually at that point, trying to make sure we are good to God, close to God as much as possible, so He can spiritually feed us to get us going, even more. But until that comes, a lot of people they're gonna starve, because they're not trying to do anything to stock up for hard times. And um we already see that shaping up for that now, so I get exactly what she's saying, and like I say, there's a lot of people that use the word they are Christian. And I was always taught, don't judge nobody, don't point fingers, no religion or whatever, the Christianity, none of that. But people still do it. But I was taught, don't do it. If you are who you are, what you represent, whatever, that's not my business. But at the same time, if you're a Christian and you consider yourself to be a Christian and you don't understand the different accounts in the Bible where God has already told you what's going on, why it's happening, and what you need to do, then I'm trying to figure out, is you a Christian that only takes what you want from it and leave the rest? You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot of times I look at that like, okay, it's right now. And I think a lot of religions, if I'm not mistaken, they give out like preparation sheets or something, have this amount of food per month and essential things to have. And a lot of people overlook that. They overlook it, but then they'll say, well, I'm just going to pray about it. Faith without work is dead. That means so many things. It can go in so many different ways. Yes, have faith first, but you got to put in the work to try to help yourself. And the only thing we can try to do is try to make sure we have some of these things in case something happens. I think you were in the comment. I thought you were going to say something. So that's just how I look at it.
basically saying same thing. I think he was talking to in regards to thing. But deportation, terrorists, all of it's going to affect your pocket. Don't be blinded by legislation. I mean, you don't have to watch every move they're making, but be wary they are making moves in Congress, whether the House Representative or Senate, to
Divine
do
Order
certain
said
things.
it wasn't hard times. I opened a can of soup and it had worms, caterpillars, or something. Did you imagine when things get really, really bad and God's word fulfills itself? Imagine what you gonna see then, what you may. I ain't gonna say I don't know what you may see in it though. If she done found caterpillars in her soup now, can of soup. So I'm sorry, I saw that. I'm just like, wow. We don't know what we eating these days. We don't know. The food's so bad now. We don't know what we eating.
Ain't no telling. Just pay attention. Don't be blinded by what it's in my head, and I want to make sure I say it the correct way. Don't be blinded by what they're showing you, because there's so much more going on that they're not going to let you see until it's too late, until it's on someone's desk being signed, and now all you can do is react to it. People can have their opinions and their thoughts when it comes to this mass deportation. It is what it is. If you take a good chunk of the workforce and a economy that kind of needs it, I'm gonna say it like this: who you think kept you fed during COVID?
What you think?
Who do they think kept them fed during COVID? Am I missing that people were told to stay home? Guess who didn't stay home? Guess who still went to the farm? Guess who still harvested? Guess who still got the food to the stores so that you be able to enjoy in your home? I'm confused on why them same people are now the problem, because they wasn't a problem a few years ago when you needed them so that you'd be able to eat. You needed them in them assembly lines up in New Jersey, Louisiana, I think New York, and another state, because there's only a couple of states that make tissue here in the U.S. There's only a couple of companies that make tissue here in the U.S. A lot of other tissue is imported in. So when them other countries shut down, who do you think still went to work? Still worked them assembly lines, still got tissue out? Because, I mean, if y'all remember, they were going crazy over tissue and paper towel. You almost got your head took off trying to get some tissue in the stores. But who do you think still went to work? Still sacrificed, still put themselves in an environment that, I mean, wasn't, I would say, 100% safe for them. But they went and they did what they were supposed to, or needed to ensure that we Americans was able to do what we need to do and live. So not all immigrants are bad. There is some bad batches out there. That's not an illegal immigrant thing. That's everywhere. I mean, if who do you think is doing those smash and grabs in these major stores? There are some illegal immigrants doing it, but there's a whole lot more of Americans, U.S. citizens, doing it and selling it on the different platforms, and I'm gonna leave it at that. When it comes to that, just pay attention to, they're going to make it look like these people the evilest in the world. Oh, they're so bad. We gotta get them out of here. But in doing so, they're also going to mess with your pockets.
And it also goes, and it shouldn't be this way, but it does goes with, it's divided. You got the red side, the blue side. The blue side didn't really care too much about, but then you got it's a divide. It's a divide. If you think they need to go, then you're siding with a certain side. If you think that,
there are there are Democrats.
that's why I'm asking them.
There are some, not all,
Not all.
but they don't see it in the way of how they don't see mass deportation as the answer. I'll say it that way. And when they were trying to put forth a bill that would have helped this immigration problem, again, it was axed because a certain individual didn't want any wins for the outgoing administration. So we'll have to see. I just know from my knowledge and my education, the math ain't mathing. You're not going to take a good portion of the workforce from a business and tell me you still going to be able to lower prices. It ain't happening. Less workers, less produce, less produce, less product, higher prices on remaining products sold. There has to be a recoupment. There has to be money made up to cover the losses. And these companies ain't willing, most business owners ain't willing to cover that loss. It just is what it is. And that's all I have.
No, I'm just reading the comments. So y'all, that's just kind of like this was an actual real debate. um it was a real debate. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like I say, it's nice when you can hear other people's opinions, and also as our own, because everybody gonna have different opinions. And I think this went quite well with everybody believing how they believe or whatnot. But at the end of the day, um, let's just try to, for one, well, let's pray for one, prep for two, okay? Um, prep as much as possible, because we can't foresee into the future. We can only use our discernment to get an idea of what's going on, what may happen. And it's common sense. When I say that, when you see everything that's going on, you can kind of like put it in place of, okay, this ain't looking too hot. Okay, this is happening, that's happening. And I'm gonna say this: you cannot never be fully prepared, because look at just those fires. What if there was a prepper was in one of those homes and got so much stuff stocked up? It's gone just like that. So yeah, I get it. It could be storms or whatnot coming, it's gone. But what if it does not happen? What if it does not happen? It's better to be safe than sorry to a certain extent, because it could be another issue where you have to shelter in place and you need certain things. See, some things will always be out of our control, like that fire, a disaster, as far as a storm or something like that. That will always be out of our control. But you also have that side to, what if something happens and you have to fall back on your stock, on your items or whatnot, because it's a serious situation, but it didn't require, I mean, it didn't, nothing happened to your home and your items. So life is just like that. Is it life is what I say, a risk. Life is risky. And it's the same thing with stocking up. There's a 50-50 chance you could lose it with a fire, a storm, or whatnot. And there's a 50-50 chance you literally could keep it and need it and fall back on it for hard times. So best to try and have than not to have and need. Okay. So we're gonna end this here. Um it was very informational. I enjoyed everybody that came in. Um, thank y'all for putting in y'all opinions or whatnot and listen to us. We listen to y'all, even though we may not agree with some of y'all and y'all don't agree with us. It's fine. But at the end of the day, just know it's all gonna affect us. We can have our opinions and stuff, but whatever go on in this world, we're all probably gonna be affected by it, no matter our skin tone, our skin tone, our race. No, at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we know we need essential items and food and water to survive, shelter, and all like that. A problem is not going to skip over you because of your race. Something, go down and you need food just because of your race. Your body still need food and water. Okay. It's the same thing. So that is the most important thing when you sum all of it up and look at everything. So we can say everything that our opinions and stuff. At the end of the day, we need the same things. No matter how much money you have, just look at these fires. Them was $1 million homes, very expensive vehicles and stuff, gone, gone. And that's why I talk about a lot of materialistic things. you know it's just not, it's it can be gone, just like that. And that's exactly what we seeing is happening. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. And whoever is throwing up the hearts and stuff, thank you so much. Thank you, Divine Order. Michelle, did you see the article that state farm council insurance months before the fire? You know what? I didn't, but I was in one of them live screens where they were showing the fire, and somebody said people lost their insurance, and I was wondering what that was about. So that must have been what that person was like. Who dog is this?
I'm trying to make sure that wasn't hers, but hers is bigger.
It's bigger. So yeah, I'm gonna look into that because I never looked into it, but I saw somebody had put that in the chat. So it's and that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like some things happen. People in bigger places.
OJ.
Already know what's gonna happen before it happen. We just don't know because only certain things is put into the news. So when you see that is happening, I'm trying to see, is he looking for the dog? Because he driving slow and looking.
It's over here.
Huh?
He done came up the thing a couple of times.
He probably looking for the dog.
They probably went into their yard because the gate is open.
Oh wow. So yeah, yes, I just posted it on Facebook. Okay, I'm gonna definitely have to look into that. But yeah, thank y'all for coming in. We appreciate you. We'll bring you something else when when we come across it or whatnot. Just pray and prep. Pray and prep is all I can say. We're having water issues in Chicago and surrounding suburbs many times in the past. So wow. It's important to and see having if you have water stocked up is very important for that, you know. Thank you, Diane Wynn. Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. All right, y'all. Let me get off of here and we will talk in the next one. I don't know if we'll be coming back with another live stream later or whatnot, but make sure y'all have y'all notification bell clicked. Make sure you hit all once you do that so you can get the notifications if YouTube decides to send them out. Okay. And we'll talk to you guys in the next one if it's God's will. Y'all have a great, safe, and blessed day. Okay. Bye.
That's what I was trying to